Okay, so picture this. It's Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
You've had a long week. You wake up. Sun is streaming through the blinds. Maybe you've got a warm cup of coffee in your hand.
It should be a great start to the weekend.
It should be. But inside your head, it's just an absolute storm.
Ah, the Saturday morning scramble.
Exactly. You've got this vague, swirling cloud of obligations. You know the laundry's piling up. The car desperately needs an oil change. You promised you'd call your mom 3 days ago.
And then there's that personal project you swore you'd start this weekend. That novel, that shelf you wanted to build.
Right. And instead of jumping up to tackle the day, you freeze. You just sit on the edge of the bed and stare at the wall.
That is exactly. It's immediate overwhelm.
Yeah. You wind up scrolling on your phone for 2 hours, watching videos of people cleaning rugs. And it's not because you're lazy, and it's not because you don't care.
It's because you don't know where to grab the tangled ball of yarn.
You've put it perfectly. That paralysis is the classic signature of the gap between intention and action.
It's the defining frustration for so many adults, and, particularly those with ADHD. It isn't that they don't know what to do, it's that the bridge between knowing and doing, it seems to be missing a few crucial planks.
So today we're going to try and build that bridge. We're doing a deep dive into the Adult ADHD Toolkit by Dr. J. Russell Ramsey and Dr. Anthony L. Rostaine.
And it's worth noting who these authors are.
Yeah, just to set the stage here, Dr. Ramsey is a clinical psychologist, co-founder of the Adult ADHD Clinic at the University of Pennsylvania.
Right, so we're not talking about random productivity gurus here. These are heavy hitters in the clinical field.
And what really separates this material, for me at least, is that it's all rooted in cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT.
Which means it's not just about, buying a nicer calendar. It's about understanding the cognitive distortions, the lies our brains tell us, that stop us from using the calendar in the first place.
So the mission for this deep dive is, well, it's simple. How do we move from I should to I did?
How do we turn those good intentions into actual finished tasks without burning ourselves out?
And it all starts with this fundamental reframe.
It does. And if you take nothing else away from our discussion today, let it be this one concept. The authors assert that ADHD is not a knowledge deficit. It is a performance deficit.
I have to say, when I read that in the source material, I felt this, physical wave of relief.
It's validating.
It's so validating to hear that it's not about not being smart enough to do the laundry.
Not at all. And that distinction is just, it's vital for how we approach it. Think about it. If you have a knowledge deficit, you need someone to explain how to do a task.
Right, like you need instructions for the washing machine.
Exactly. But most adults with ADHD know exactly how to write the report or clean the kitchen or pay the bill. They have the knowledge. The breakdown happens in the execution, the performance of the task at that specific moment.
So let's unpack that. Why does the performance break down if the knowledge is there?
Well, it comes down to impaired executive functions. These are the management systems of the brain. Organization, time management, emotional regulation, motivation.
All the boring admin stuff.
All the admin, yeah. The source material explains that due to dopamine levels and neural pathways, the brain just struggles to self-regulate and initiate the task.
So it's almost like a mechanical failure rather than a driver failure.
That's a great analogy. Think of it like having a high-performance sports car, a Ferrari engine, but the ignition wire is loose.
Okay.
The engine is powerful, the driver is skilled, and knows the track map perfectly, but you can't always get the engine to turn over.
The potential is there, but the mechanism to engage that potential is just inconsistent.
And that's why simply telling someone, just try harder, just make a list, is so useless.
Yeah, it's like standing next to that Ferrari and shouting at the driver to just drive faster, and the car won't even start.
Exactly. You need to fix the ignition wire. You need repeated exposure to specific coping strategies that kind of bypass that faulty wiring. It moves the whole conversation from what is wrong with me to what tools do I need to perform.
Which moves us from shame to strategy. So, okay, let's get to those strategies.
Let's do it.
The authors lay out a system to tame the chaos. And it starts with something we all think we know how to do. Lists.
But they differentiate between two very specific types of lists, and I think most of us are doing this wrong.
I know I was.
Yeah, we usually are. So this is strategy number one, the to lists. The authors argue that mixing up your obligations with your daily plan is it's a recipe for disaster.
So the first list is what they call the comprehensive to-do list.
Right.
I think of this as the data management bucket, or just the brain dump.
That's a perfect way to put it. The comprehensive list is where you dump everything. Every single task, responsibility, obligation, idea, errand, anything for the next, say, 1 to 6 weeks.
So this directly addresses that Saturday morning panic we talked about, right?
It does. See, if you're trying to hold all those tasks in your working memory, buy milk, email boss, call mom, fix shelf, your brain is using all its energy just trying not to forget them.
It creates this low-level hum of anxiety. It eats up your bandwidth.
It's like having 50 tabs open on your browser. Your computer just slows down, the fan starts whirring.
Exactly.
So by writing them all down, and I mean all of them, you engage in what psychologists call cognitive offloading. You let go of that anxiety because you know the information is safe somewhere.
Okay, but here's the trap, and I have definitely fallen into this.
Right.
If I wake up on a Tuesday and I look at a list with 47 items on it, I'm just going back to bed.
Of course.
It's too much. It's overwhelming just to look at it.
And that is why you never, ever work off the comprehensive list. That list is just a storage facility. It's a warehouse.
You don't do your work in the warehouse.
No. For actually getting things done, you need the second list, the daily to-do list.
The daily list. This is the velvet rope. Only a few things get in.
That's right. And the source material suggests a golden rule for the daily list. It shocks most people. Keep it to only 2 to 5 items.
Only 2 to 5? That feels, I don't know, dangerously low.
It does, doesn't it?
I feel like I do 2 things before I've even finished my coffee. If I only put 2 things on my list, aren't I just being lazy?
It feels low, but you have to look at the psychology of success here. For someone with executive function challenges, the goal is to increase your hit rate.
Your hit rate, okay.
Yeah. So if you list 20 things, which is what most of us do, and you get 5 of them done, how do you feel at the end of the day?
Like a failure. I failed 15 times. All I see is the list of things I didn't do.
Exactly. And that feeling of failure makes it even harder to start tomorrow. But if you list 5 things and you do all 5,
You feel capable. You get that little dopamine hit from crossing them off.
and that momentum is crucial for building the self-efficacy to tackle the next day. You're basically retraining your brain to trust your own plans.
And there's also a specific way we're supposed to write these items, right? We can't just scribble vague words.
Correct. Vague tasks are kryptonite to the ADHD brain.
Finances.
Oh, finances is the worst. That's a project, not a task. It's a terrifying, abstract concept. You need to write login to bank website.
Or not clean. Clean is huge. Clean could take a week.
Right, clean is a trap. Right, empty the dishwasher. The rule is, can you visualize the action? If you can't physically see yourself doing it, you have to break it down further.
Because the vague tasks just require too much mental energy to even figure out where to start. So we stall.
We stall out before we even begin.
So we have the big bucket list, the warehouse, and the tiny specific daily list, the menu. Now, how do we actually organize this into a day? This brings us to strategy number 2.
The daily planner. This is about creating a roadmap. And the author suggests a habit that sounds a bit meta, but they claim it is the foundation of everything else.
Which is
Planning to plan.
planning to plan. That
Well,
sounds a little like procrastination with extra steps.
it's actually the antidote to it. The idea is to set aside a specific 10-minute block every single day, either first thing in the morning or the evening before, strictly for planning.
Just 10 minutes.
10 minutes, that's it, to turn the chaos into structure. You look at your comprehensive list, you pick your, say, 3 items for the daily list, and you slot them into your day. You decide when you are going to do them.
You aren't just hoping they happen. You're giving them a home in time.
Precisely.
Now, here is where it gets really interesting. It may be a little controversial for the tech lovers out there. The format of the planner matters.
The great debate. Paper versus digital.
And I know you know I love my apps. My phone is my external brain. If it's not in the cloud, it doesn't exist.
I get it. The cloud is great for storage. But the source material notes that digital planners are often underutilized by adults with ADHD for daily execution.
Really? Why is that? You'd think all the alarms and reminders would help.
There are a couple reasons. First, it's that out of sight, out of mind problem. A digital calendar. It just disappears when you close the app.
Right. It ceases to exist in your visual field.
Yeah, but a paper planner sitting open on your desk offers object permanence. It stares at you. It anchors you to the timeline.
That makes a lot of sense. It's a constant visual cue.
And second, and this is the big one, the device itself is a distraction machine.
Oh, yeah.
You go to check your calendar app, you see a notification badge, and suddenly you're on Instagram or answering a text.
Yeah.
You went in to plan your day, and you left having lost 20 minutes.
That is painfully accurate. It's like walking through a casino just to get to the bathroom. You might not make it to the bathroom.
You're probably not going to make it. A paper planner is simple, and crucially, it doesn't try to sell you anything while you're using it.
Okay, I can see the argument. It's about reducing friction. So if we're using this planner paper or otherwise, what are the rules? Because I tend to overfill any container you give me.
And that's the first trap. Implementation principle number 1 is under schedule.
Deliberately plan to do less than you think you can.
Always. We all tend to suffer from time optimism or time blindness. We think a task takes 10 minutes when it really takes 30.
Or that traffic won't exist today.
Exactly. So if you pack your schedule back to back, one little delay just derails the entire day.
And then you throw the whole plan out because it's ruined.
Yes. The
It's
what the
bad.
hell effect. Well, I missed the 10:00 a.m. slot, so I guess the whole day is garbage. So you must incorporate buffer times.
The in-between time.
You need to account for it. Travel time, transition time, the time it takes to find your keys, the time it takes to reboot your computer, all of it.
And the third principle.
Defined start and end times. This is key, even for tasks that don't have an external deadline. If you just say, I'll do the report today, Parkinson's law kicks in.
The work expands to fill the time available.
Right, so it takes all day, and you feel guilty the whole time because you're kind of working on it.
But if you say, I will work on the report from 10:00 a.m. to 11:00 a.m., you create a container for focus. You have a finish line.
Which makes the starting line so much easier to cross.
Okay, so we have our list, we have our planner, we've underscheduled. Now we actually have to move through the world. This is strategy number 3, choreography and execution.
I love that term, choreography. It implies that moving through your day can be a dance, not just a stumble.
Yeah, it's about fluidity.
Yeah.
And one of the best mental tactics the book offers is so simple. Enter the room with a plan.
It sounds simple, but it's powerful.
I've tried it since reading the source material,
Yeah.
and it is wild how much it changes your behavior.
Explain how you use it.
Well, before you walk into a room, say the kitchen, you explicitly state your intention. You stop at the threshold and you literally say, I am walking in here to get a glass of water.
It anchors your attention.
Yeah,
It prevents that pinball effect where you walk into the kitchen, you see a pile of mail, you start opening it, notice the counter is dirty, start wiping it.
and 20 minutes later, you're scrubbing the floor, but you're still thirsty.
That's the one.
It's basically mindfulness in motion.
Yeah.
But what about when distractions inevitably happen? Because my phone can buzz and I'm a goner.
That's where you use if-then plans. This is a concept from psychology called implementation intentions.
Okay.
You anticipate the distraction and you formulate a response beforehand.
Like, if my phone buzzes, then I will ignore it. That seems hard.
Well, it can be more specific. If my phone buzzes while I am writing, then I will flip it over and finish this one sentence before checking.
So the magic is that it takes the decision-making out of the moment.
You got it. You aren't relying on willpower, you're relying on a pre-programmed algorithm. You don't have to decide, should I check it? You already decided yesterday.
And this all feeds into the do-it-now philosophy.
Right, because you've compartmentalized your tasks in your planner, you don't have to worry about everything else. You have permission to focus on the one thing right in front of you. You can do it now because you know it is the only thing on the menu for this hour.
But even with the best plans, the best lists, the best choreography, we run into the final boss,
Yes, procrastination.
the enemy.
It is.
And the source material has this really compassionate definition of it that it really resonated with me. It's not laziness.
No, and that is so crucial to internalize. If you are lazy, you're having fun doing nothing. You're on a beach enjoying the sun.
Right.
People who are procrastinating are usually miserable. They are stressed. The authors define procrastination as a self-regulation failure. It is delaying action because of the anticipation of negative outcomes.
So we're scared it will be boring or hard or that we'll fail.
Exactly. We avoid the bad feeling we think the task will give us. We call it discomfort intolerance. We think, I can't handle how boring this spreadsheet is going to be.
So how do we trick our brains into starting? How do we get over that wall of discomfort?
The first tactic goes right back to our lists. Use behavioral terms. But you can take it even further.
Okay.
Write down the smallest possible step of behavioral engagement.
So instead of write report, it's what? Open laptop.
Even smaller, open Word document. That's it. That is the task. It boosts your sense of capability. You might think, I can't write a report right now, I'm too tired. But you can't argue with, I can certainly open a Word document.
And once the document is open, you're often over the hump.
Which leads directly to the 10-minute rule. You commit to doing the task for just 10 minutes. Anyone can endure 10 minutes of something they dislike.
And you tell yourself, I can quit after 10
You
minutes.
can. And the magic, of course, is that usually once you've done 10 minutes, that anticipation of pain is gone. The reality of the task is rarely as bad as the horror movie we played in our heads.
Precisely. The hardest part was just the initiation.
But we also have to talk about escape behaviors.
Oh, like when I suddenly decide the garage needs organizing right before a deadline.
Yes. Or alphabetizing the spice rack. It feels productive, so we don't feel guilty about it. But it's still avoidance.
So what's the strategy?
It's clever. You identify those escape behaviors and you filter them. You use them as rewards.
So if I work on this presentation for 20 minutes, then I can alphabetize the spices.
Exactly. You turn the enemy into an ally. But ultimately, dealing with procrastination requires one final tough pill to swallow:
Which is,
the acceptance of discomfort.
meaning we have to stop waiting to feel like doing the task.
Yes. The biggest lie we tell ourselves is, I'll do it when I'm in the mood.
Spoiler alert, you will never be in the mood to do your taxes.
Never. The goal isn't to feel good about the task before you start. The goal is to do it despite the discomfort. You have to accept that starting will feel icky. You sit with the icky feeling and you type anyway.
That is the performance part of the performance deficit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Acting regardless of the feeling.
It is. It's building that muscle of I can do hard things, or even just I can do boring things. And every time you do that, you rewrite your neural pathways just a little bit. You prove to yourself that the discomfort won't kill you.
So let's just recap this journey, because we've covered a lot of ground in building this bridge from intention to action.
We started by reframing ADHD not as a lack of knowledge, but as a performance deficit.
Right. It's about the how, not the what.
Then we solved the memory overload with the two-lists system. The massive, comprehensive list, the warehouse, to get it all out of your head.
And the tiny 2 to 5 item daily list to actually guide your day.
We discussed the daily planner, preferably paper, and the absolute necessity of planning to plan for 10 minutes a day.
Making sure to underschedule and include those buffer times so we don't set ourselves up for failure.
Then we talked about choreography, entering a room with a plan, and using if-then statements to automate our focus.
And finally, beating procrastination by shrinking the task down to the smallest step and using that 10-minute rule to just bypass the wall of discomfort.
It's a comprehensive system, and it's so important to remember what Dr. Ramsey and Dr. Rostain emphasize. This isn't a one-time fix. You don't just get organized once and stay that way forever.
It requires constant diligence. It's a practice.
It's a practice, exactly, like yoga or meditation. You fall off the wagon, you get back on, you forget to plan one day, you plan the next.
And that diligence is what builds the neural pathways over time. It's not about perfection.
It's about resilience.
Before we go, I want to leave our listener with a provocative thought, something that kind of builds on what we discussed regarding escape behaviors.
Go for it.
So we talked about using your escape behaviors, scrolling social media, playing a game as rewards. But if you think about why those things are your escape behaviors, it's usually because they offer immediate feedback, a quick dopamine hit.
That's true. A clean counter is immediately visible. A like on a photo is instant gratification. Writing a report offers a zero immediate feedback.
Exactly. So what if the secret isn't just using them as rewards, but looking at your actual work and asking, how can I make this work more like my escape behavior? How can I add that immediate feedback to the boring stuff?
Huh. That is a fascinating shift. So gamifying the work so it competes on the same level as the distraction.
Yeah, maybe it's tracking your word count in real time or checking off tiny subtasks every 5 minutes.
So if the problem is a lack of dopamine, maybe we need to engineer the dopamine into the work itself rather than just waiting for it at the end.
Something to think about the next time you reach for your phone instead of your keyboard.
Absolutely. A little gamification can go a long way.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Adult ADHD Toolkit.
It's been a pleasure to break this down.
If you take one thing away from today, try this. Take just 10 minutes today, maybe right now, before you do anything else, and plan tomorrow. Just 10 minutes. See if it changes your Saturday morning. Thanks for listening.